Welcome in to Court Vision. I'm Luke Beckman here with my co-host Vincent Zakian. A lot on the docket. I was just talking with Vincent off camera. It felt like, when we were planning this out Monday, Tuesday, when we were going to record, it was like, okay, you got Jayson Tatum. Well, no, Bam said, I'm going to grab the first segment for 83 points. That's obviously what we're going to talk about first here on the podcast. Before we do any of that, hey, make sure you go ahead, like this video, comment below what you thought about Bam's 83. A lot of opinions on this, and subscribe to both Backman Sports and Vincent Zakian. His channel, Vincent Zakian. I just saw he dropped a new football video, so make sure you go subscribe. All right. Let's just elephant in the room, Vincent.
Yeah.
Bam Adebayo, 83 points, passes Kobe for the second most all-time. Obviously, Wilt still at number one with 100. A lot of opinions on this, whether they like it, whether they don't like it, whether people think he should have even stayed in there to pass Kobe, how it was played out. All the opinions we'll talk about. But first, do you have a problem with Bam Adebayo's 83 points?
No, I don't. I commend Bam for getting it. I love that Spo kept him in the game, because it's March in the NBA. Like, what else is gonna? Nothing else is going on. Like, let's have like an interesting game. Let's try to make some history. Let's give these fans, their money's worth and then some for being in the building for history, doing it at home too. I saw there was like so much to recap from the game, but I just saw Ryan Russillo just tweeted this, and it was like a total recap of like everything that happened, and I just liked it. It's succinct, and I liked it. The absurd possessions, the home broadcast raving about his unselfishness when he made a pass, Spo's ridiculous challenge up 25 points in the fourth quarter, fouling up 20 plus to stop the clock, the bombs from three, Washington fouling a different player so Bam wouldn't get the shot, the missed free throw attempt to try for another possession. That's what it was. It was not, the fourth quarter of that game was not basketball. And I think that's what I might remember about it most, because I tuned in the second half because I was watching Celtics Spurs, and at halftime they were like, Bam's got 59 points. And I was like, all right, I got to tune in for this. I don't know what was happening in that second half, but I don't know, should the Wizards like be punished or something?
I don't think so. I think you put it was just, it wasn't basketball, but again, this was a record that, it's not a record because it's second most, but it's still an accomplishment that, what? Like, Wilt has 100, Kobe has 81. Like, I can understand every point. No, I can't understand every point of view. I understand the point of view from the Miami side. Miami fouling, whether it was, they're up 25, challenging. When your guy's close to that, you do everything you can. Like, I'm not mad at the Miami Heat. I'm not mad at them playing.
Yeah.
I think the Washington Wizards head coach said afterwards the fourth quarter was not real basketball. And it wasn't. It just was not real basketball, but that 83 points, the 81 clip of Kobe, always felt like it was more than basketball or out of this world. Like, who would ever get to that point? Like, we've seen 70 a few times throughout the last few years. And it was like, geez, that 81, man. Yeah, you're going to do whatever you can to get up to that. So I'm not mad about a lot of it. I think the Wizards, they're the Wizards. I don't know if you saw Scott Van Pelt was like, oh, yeah, the Wizards. And Bam's like, they're an NBA defense. They're an NBA team, right? Like, it is what it is. The Wizards are they're going to be a top whatever pick in the draft. One of those nights where Bam got off, 31 in the first quarter, and Alex Sarr, I'll just say this, Alex Sarr, whenever an opposing center sees him, they see red. Like, anytime he sees Alex Sarr, pencil him in for one of his biggest games. Like, Alex Sarr, number 2 pick in the draft, rough night. He had 28 points. Shout out to him. But, you're opposing.
That's not going to get remembered.
No. Yeah. So I'm not mad at anything part of this. We'll do the elephant in the room. I'll pull up the stat sheet or the box score right here. What people are mad about is Bam shooting 43 free throws. What are your thoughts on the free throws? I've seen some people say, oh, everyone gets mad at Shea for shooting so many free throws, but they're not mad at Bam. Like, what's your take on the 43 free throws that Bam shot? I think he made about 36 of them. 36 free throws, 36 out of 43. What are your thoughts on the free throws?
Yeah, I don't think, especially at the end of the game, I didn't think like Bam was like foul baiting per se. It was just he was fighting to get the ball, and then he was triple teamed. And if he did miraculously find his way to the hoop, when there's 3 guys on you, you're probably going to get fouled if you get a shot up, especially in today's NBA. So I didn't mind it. But like the fourth quarter not being basketball, I agree with that, but that's the Wizards' fault for being down 25.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially, Miami could do whatever they wanted. They didn't have to try to run an offense to get a good look or anything like that. They concentrated the entire fourth quarter on getting Bam to 83 points. That's because they solved the issue of the game in 3 quarters. It was such an odd watch. But I don't know. What am I gonna do? Like go back and look at every foul in this game and be like, not a foul. Not like we could do that with a million NBA teams. I'm sure some guys would have a lot fewer points per game if we did that. But I didn't find it like unethical. The thing about it is like when someone has a game like this, when Embiid got over 70 a couple years ago, he did it in like 3 quarters on like 75% from the field, and when Luka did it a couple years ago, and Cat did it with Minnesota, or Cat was like over 6. Was he at 70? I don't remember what it was. It was all in 1 week.
Over 60%, yeah, it's something close.
Him, Luka, and Embiid all did it in like the same week 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. And Devin Booker did it a few years before then. Yeah. Yep.
It's usually the result of just they go unconscious. And they're just not missing shots. It doesn't matter who's on them. They're pulling from everywhere. And in this case, it was like Bam was really on in the first half, like he was hitting threes, and that kind of got him the platform to go and just try to get free throws the entire second half. So there isn't like an iconic moment from it. There's not like one bucket where you're like, wow, that was the moment or anything. I think he had like 1 or 2 field goals in the entire fourth quarter. He had like an and one, but it was weird, but like, I don't know. I'm not mad about it. I did wake up this morning and I was like, Bam Adebayo has the second highest scoring game in NBA history. It's an odd thing.
I think it was Norman Powell who said it afterwards in the post game. He was like, Wilt, Bam, Kobe. That's the list now. Like Wilt, Bam. Like it feels weird. I'll say to the point about the fouls. I think if you're gonna have your anger about the fouls and the foul shots, I think the people that you should direct your anger at is the referees. And I'm not saying that it's valid. I'm saying, like, I did watch it. Someone from the Heat Twitter, a Heat fan, put a compilation of all the fouls together throughout the game. And they look like he got fouled. Like, it's just clear as day. He got fouled. I think if you're mad at anyone, be mad at the referees because, I mean, I say this as, a Knicks fan who watches Karl Anthony Towns, a center, drive to the paint. A lot of those similar things maybe don't get called against Cat. But it seems like in this game, when it got to the fourth quarter, hey, everything was getting called, and that's not Bam's fault. Like, I don't know why anybody should be going at Bam like, oh, you were just getting to the free throw line. The referees were calling the fouls. And again, you said it, he was triple teamed. The odds are someone's hitting his hand, hitting his arm when he's going up for a shot or doing something like that. I'm really confused by, the people that have just gone and immediately, for lack of a better word, crapped on this performance. And I think there's a discussion that can be talked about in just a second about maybe the people that are crapping on this. But Brandon Walker at Barstool Sports. I'm not a Barstool type of guy, but I saw the tweet from a clip he said this morning. He said, we've gotten to the point in the NBA where someone scores 83 and people are critiquing it and not saying, yo, that was pretty cool, we've lost the plot.
Yeah.
And I think that's completely, this is a performance. Tell me, like, when is somebody going to break 83? Kobe scored this in 01, 02, like early 2000s. It's been 20-plus years. I'm confused by the people that are angry about this. Again, if you're mad about the fouls, Bam Adebayo got the ball, triple team, was going up, was getting hit. Be mad at the refs for maybe calling it. Maybe there was a couple fouls that were touchy, right? That's in all games. Everyone gets mad at SGA every single game because he exaggerates a little bit, or once he gets touchy, like Bam didn't do what you said. He wasn't foul baiting throughout this game. It felt like. I'm not mad at Bam Adebayo at all. I think, again, you said it perfectly. First half he was on, first quarter especially, 31 in the first, like hitting shots, and then the game slowed down and it became, all right, let's find a way to get Bam to this record-setting mark.
Right.
It was like, you know what? It is what it is. If I had a teammate that was even sniffing that, you bet I'm giving you the ball and getting out the way or trying to set a screen. Like, I think everybody in this scenario did everything right. And it's unfortunate that right now people are paying the price, or Bam's, getting a little bit of flack for, scoring 83 points.
I would love it if, like, for the next week, all the great players in the league see this and they're like, I'm going to try to get 80. Like I think that would just be it should just be like a designated week in March. Like this is the kind of the dog days of the season as we get close. It gets more interesting as we get closer to the playoffs, but we're not quite there yet. Like guys should just be trying to get career highs every night and just go for personal records. Like what if someone tweeted last night? Like what if we just let Curry shoot 35 threes a game? Like what if he's got to just try it before he retires? What if I don't know? What if Wemby actually was like really good from three last night? But what if we just kind of threw it into Wemby every possession and saw what happens? Mm-hmm. Or Luka's done it before. I think chances are someone's going to try to kind of go crazy this week. One of the big stars in the league, maybe it'll be like Shea or Luka or something like that. Someone's probably going to try to explode for a lot of points just because of this, because that's kind of what happened last time. But yeah, it kind of stinks to see the kind of hate on it. But there's a lot of funny stuff too. I mean, the Kobe stands are in shambles. Yeah. Specifically, the one that was going viral this morning when I woke up was O'Shea Jackson Jr., who's an actor and Ice Cube's son, and huge diehard Lakers fan, Kobe stan, just writing essays, stuff like college dissertations on why this is unethical and how the NBA is rigged because Bam Adebayo got 83 points in March against the Washington Wizards. And seeing people mad about it makes me kind of happy that he did it, to be honest. Because if you're tying part of your identity, part of your reason for liking a player to arbitrary single game numbers, that's a problem. You know what I mean? What's Michael Jordan's career high is 65? Something like that.
That sounds about right, yeah.
I would never say Joel Embiid is better than Michael Jordan because he got a 71-point game. I would never say Luka Doncic is better. I would say Bam Adebayo. Of course not. Of course not. I wouldn't say Kobe's better than Michael Jordan because he got an 81-point game. But the fact that people have been using that, Kobe got 81, he must be better than LeBron. That's annoying, and I'm glad this kind of pokes a hole in it really easily. If there's one good thing to come out of this. I loved Kobe. Kobe was awesome, but the Kobe stands in the last 5 years have really been tough. Tough hang.
I 1,000,000% agree with you. I think, and I find it funny, and when we say Kobe stands again, it's not every single one. It's just the ones that are ridiculously crazy, like we've seen, the past 12 hours or something. So when I say Kobe stands and Vincent says, it's not every single one of them. Some are rational, but the ones that aren't, the ones we're talking about at this moment, I think. It's funny because you hear a lot of these Kobe stands, talk about Mamba mentality, right? And what they use it, in arguments about LeBron. They use it, all these different things. And I tuned in the game, and when he had scored 81, I think the Wizards got fouled. Obviously, the Heat are fouling. And then I thought I heard the Heat announcer say, Bam's about to come out or he's about to get an ovation or something like that. And maybe I just misheard. But in my mind, I was like, are you going to stop at 81? Are you going to sub yourself out for Kobe, just to stay at Kobe and not break it? And then he obviously broke it. But, part of me was like, that's Mamba mentality. Do you think Kobe Bryant would have said, stop at my record? Stop. No, yeah. Kobe Bryant. And, I never met Kobe. But just from everything you've listened from what Kobe said, Mamba mentality is, go break it. Kobe Bryant, I 1,000,000% believe, if he were here today, he'd put out a tweet or a statement records are supposed to be broken, numbers are supposed to be, and so people holding this against Bam and doing all these different things, I saw people Bam won't even be a Hall of Famer and he has this record, how embarrassing. I was embarrassing? Yeah. You understand when people look at who scored the most ever in an NBA game, it'll be Wilt Chamberlain and Bam Adebayo. I don't care if, obviously he wants to be in the Hall of Fame, but his name is forever etched in basketball history. How embarrassing. So I'm with you. It's been extremely strange to see, people on. It feels like that's kind of today's culture when it comes to sports. Very stan culture. If your favorite player, something good happens, you blow it out of proportion. If something bad happens, you start arguing about it, with someone else, or you bring up some other points. And it's like that in all sports, not just basketball. But yeah, I found it very weird, the discourse. Mad Dog Russo today, he was like, if you want to bow down to this, go ahead. This is like a dark cloud or something. The dude scored 83 points in a basketball game. I'm willing to play in a men's league basketball game tonight. If one of my teammates had 59 in the first quarter, I promise you I would not shoot the ball once, and I'd be yelling at the referees every time my teammate got even a fingernail on him. I think a lot of people who haven't played sports are angry about it. It's like, come on, like what are we doing here? So I'm with you. I think it's ridiculous. Some of the Kobe stands that have gone to crazy lengths to try and discredit this performance.
Yeah. You know who has the passing touchdowns record in the NFL, the single game passing touchdowns record? Nick Foles has it. It's one game. These guys are all professional athletes. Like, they can go off. They can do amazing things in the right scenario, pretty much all of them. Not you know, anyone who can like shoot a three in today's game, if they and get to the hoop like Bam can, on the right night, yeah, they can probably go and get 80. But Bam's the only one who's like actually made it happen. Could Rashad McCants have actually done it? Is I think the real question. Someone needs to get a mic on in front of Rashad McCants instantly.
He better be like, this is his time.
Kobe's 81.
If he ever wanted to charge for interviews, this is the moment right here. This is where you're like, I got a price tag for this interview, my first interview since 81.
He should just go back on Out the Mud.
Oh, yeah.
Tony Allen needs to have him back on immediately.
100%. And it's funny, like, the outfit he was wearing in that episode, too, with the crown and the jersey. It's an incredible screenshot that I've seen multiple times. I mean, as we put a bow on this, I think, you know, and this kind of ties in with what we just said about the stands and everything. At the end of the day, what does this record do? I mean, this not even record. I keep saying record, but it's second most. It's a point in time where it's like, cool, he scored 83 points in a game. Like, when we look at Kobe's 81, it's not like he won the scoring title winning 81 or scoring 81 that night. Not like he, you know, won the conference finals scoring 8. Like, oh, cool, he had 81 in a game. Like, that's kind of what this has always been remembered for. Obviously, with Kobe, it's taken on, you know, another little bit more. But I think it's like, in 5 years, it's going to be like, geez, man, he scored 83 in a ball game. Like, that's crazy. And I know people are, you know, right now we're in the moment. But, again, in 5 years, people are not going to remember all the free throws. You know, people that want to diminish it will. But I think, you know, the kids younger than us coming up, you know, like, yeah, he scored 83 points in a game. They're not going to know the full context of everything. They aren't going to remember the Wizards are trash and Alex Sarr gets scored on by everybody. I think it's a great thing. I think it's awesome. I think it's congrats to Bam. I think it's a cool moment that, you know, sucks that some people are taking the fun out of, but I feel like a lot of people are like, yo, this was pretty cool.
Yeah. It's like a where were you moment. Where were you when Bam Adebayo scored 83 points? And that's like good for the NBA. It's cool. It's like great for sports. Like, this is why you just tune in for random regular season games and stuff like that. It was like I was watching the Spurs Celtics and they cut to the Heat game because I knew like history was happening. Like, that's a real moment. And that's, you know, that's what makes this league worth watching. And it shows the depth of talent in this league that's like worth watching every night. So yeah, I don't see how this could be anything but an awesome thing for the league. And hopefully, I mean, I think it would be really cool if a bunch of guys were like, all right, now I'm going to go try to get 80 in the last month of the season.
I saw somebody said, I know NBC and Peacock did their 90s moment or 90s game like last week. They're like, if they really want to do a 90s moment, they should cut to a double box like they did with the 94 finals and OJ's car chase. That would be a throwback right there.
You know who OJ called while he was in the Bronco?
Bob Costas,
dude. Just the craziest story. I mean, Bob Costas has done. He spoke at like Ali's funeral. Like, he's done all the craziest things, but like that tops the list.
I'll say that this is a quick Costa story about that moment. He was on a book tour over a decade ago, and he was around. He was in Arlington. My family and I went, and I was young, but he was telling a story. He actually visited OJ in jail afterwards, and he's like, I had cut my, had a paper cut or something. I had a bandage, and I go to the jail, talk to OJ. And OJ's like, oh, what's that on your finger? He's like, oh, I cut myself. And OJ goes, oh, you did it. You did it. Wow. Bob Costas like, what? I was like, oh, my goodness. Well, I remember he said that. I was like, oh, wow. But that's, just one of those moments last night. I was watching the U.S. lose to Italy in the WBC, but that's neither here nor there. All right, let's move on to another Eastern Conference team, another Eastern Conference player. Well, this time he's returned. That's Jayson Tatum with the Celtics. Celtics now 2-1 with Tatum. Last night losing to the Spurs. Kind of a little bit of asterisk, I feel like, on it, with Jaylen Brown being ejected in the first half. But, Vincent, I mean, a lot of odds makers, a lot of people have now said, you know what, the Spurs have jumped the Knicks, the Cavs, and the Pistons to be the favorites in the East. What have you seen from Tatum in his return? And I mean, do you have the Celtics jumping all those teams and being the favorites in the East? I know we've talked about, hey, if he returns, this might be the case, but now he's officially here, 3 games in. What's your thoughts, on the Celtics and Tatum?
Yeah, it's tough to say right now. I think I'm going to keep riding with the Knicks, who I said in our last podcast I think are going to win the East. Even though the Knicks are coming off like a terrible West Coast trip, and I mean we can get to that later. But
Yeah.
and I like what the Pistons have done. I think the continuity is important. And I just think like the Knicks beat, again, we can like debate the merits of it, but I think pretty fair and square beat a better Celtics team last year in the playoffs. And so this version of the Celtics doesn't have the players quite. And Tatum's he's ramping back up, like you can tell. Like, you know, he's taking a lot of 1-footers, which is kind of weird. He was doing that a couple times last night. You know, he had the big putback dunk in his first game back that got everyone out of their seats. But you know, he's still not fully formed first team All-NBA forward Jayson Tatum yet. Which has led to some awesome basketball from Jaylen Brown. I just think I don't think I'm there yet as them being the favorites in the East, because the rest of the team isn't really that deep. I think they're extremely well coached, and they've really gotten to, I think, like the merits of Mazzulla's coaching ability have really shown throughout the season. Like, he's shown that he's one of the most valuable coaches in the league, that the work he does actually translates to wins. And I think that's big in the regular season, but I think when it kind of becomes the half-court matchup game in the playoffs, Jaylen Brown will probably be awesome. Tatum, we'll see if he can get back to being his full self, and he'll be great. But even just them, and it feels like an understatement to say just them, but it's going to be those 2 guys and Derek White, and I'm not sure. I don't really like the Celtics roster outside of it. So I think, despite it all, I think I'd stay with the Knicks and probably the Pistons over the Celtics right now. Cavs, I'm kind of in limbo on.
Yeah, no, Jayson Tatum, he's increased his scoring in each game. 15 the first game, 20 the second, and then 24 last night. He's played 27 minutes, 27 minutes each of the first 3 games he's been back. Seems like he's, like you mentioned, he's still ramping up. I'm not going to grade Jayson Tatum because this isn't what he's going to be like in a month. I think, you know, even if an 80% Jayson Tatum is there for the Celtics in the playoffs, you know, that's better than a lot of 100% players for different teams. I think one version or one part of his game he's still struggling on right now is the 3-pointer. He's 9 for 31 so far. He went 4 for 14. I got the stats up last night. 2 for 9. The game against the Cavs, and then 3 for 8 against the Mavericks. And again, coming off an Achilles injury, I feel like, and I've heard this, you know, whenever you have a big injury, whether it be the knee, the Achilles, anything leg area, maybe even an ankle surgery, you just have to feel comfortable to jump on that foot again. Like, feel comfortable when I jump up, and when I come down, everything's right. I've done the right preparation. Like, mentally, you just have to feel comfortable when you go up for a layup that you can come down and, you know, feel solid on that leg. So I think for Tatum, again, it's only a matter of time. I think right now it is Jaylen Brown's team. I know that was a discussion that was had a couple weeks ago, heated on First Take. But right now the offense should flow through Jaylen Brown, and if Jayson Tatum is able to be, you know, 80%, 90%, it can be Batman and Batman. It doesn't have to be Batman and Robin in the playoffs. It can be Batman and Batman. But I think as Tatum slowly, you know, creeps back into form, this is Jaylen Brown's team. This is Jaylen Brown's offense. He's got him to the 2nd seed.
Yep.
That's not a bad thing. Let Tatum ease his way back in. You don't need him going for 30-plus every single night just to try and win. I think that'd be a detriment to, you know, him in the playoffs. Just, you know, he doesn't need that pressure on himself and on that body at this moment. 3 games in, 3, 4, 5 games, however many, you know, games he gets in soon. For the Celtics, you know what? I think the Celtics, of course, I got the Knicks still. You know, the people forget the Knicks built this roster to beat the Celtics. You know, they beat them last year, and then they lost to Indiana because Indiana plays a vastly different type of game than the Celtics. They go up and down like crazy. Celtics, you know, the Knicks got OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges because they're 2 wings that can guard Tatum and Brown in theory, and they were able to in that series. So I think that Knicks matchup is, you know, going to be a great one. Them versus the Cavs, they were able to beat the Cavs. And I watched that game. You mentioned their team. The most important player on that team is Peyton Pritchard. Because if I remember correctly, at least the role players wise, Peyton Pritchard did not have a good series against the Knicks. And, that was a better team, and, maybe he didn't have the pressure. But this year seems like, okay, the pressure's, you got to hit more threes. You got to do, like, Peyton Pritchard is that guy that hits those threes that are momentum threes or momentum killer threes for the other team. I think he had a bad series against the Knicks. I think they threw Deuce McBride on him a lot. He's the type of guy that is going to have to play big for them to get to where they are. Against the Pistons, Pistons are a little bit, they've had some rough losses over the stretch. People are saying, hey, it's Cade and that's it on the offensive end. I think I might pick the Celtics, depending on where they are at the end of the regular season, but I think I'd maybe pick the Celtics over the Pistons. But I don't clearly say the Celtics are better than any team in the East. I think they are, before I was saying it's the Knicks and the Pistons and maybe the Cavs that first tier and the Celtics on that second tier. I think it's maybe those four on that first tier and maybe the Celtics on that second tier. The Cavaliers on that second tier. Now, but I think Tatum's, like, again, you don't have to rush him to be a superstar like he was. You got a month before the playoffs start. I think if you continue to do this 27, 30 minutes a game, you're going to be able to be in a good spot in playoff time.
I agree. I was watching, with the past month the Sixers have had, just like total disaster. Watching Celtics Spurs last night, it's like, I actually wrote down some analogies. It's like being a rapper without a record deal while 50 Cent and Kanye were going like album for album in the 2000s. It's like if you're in a relationship that's like falling apart and you're hanging out with your two friends who are in like a perfect relationship. Like that's what it's like. Nothing could go wrong for these teams if they try. Like Tatum has the most devastating injury of his career and he's back immediately, right? The Spurs get the number 1 and 2 pick and get Castle and Wemby and are immediately good and are going to be good forever now. And not to just make it about the Sixers, but like last night was the campaign game for the Sixers. If you want to know where we're at, great game from campaign, but like they're just the two franchises that like nothing could go wrong if they even tried. And so part of it was depressing. Part of it was like it started out as kind of a hate watch for me. I'm not even gonna lie.
It's funny that the feeling you were feeling, that feels like being a Jets fan and watching any other football game, in college or NFL. It's like these guys are playing a different sport. Everything goes right. Welcome to my world when it comes to football. But we'll talk about the Sixers in just a second. But yeah, I think the Celtics, I think they'll be solid. I think they will be a contender for the East. Those four teams in the East, that's going to be a fun. Hopefully, all four of them can get through the first round. I want to see, let's do it. Right now it would be Pistons, Cavs first round, Knicks, Celtics second round.
Celtics.
Let's do it. Yeah. That's the final four in the East. Let's do it. Talking about a team that equally has had success in the West. The Oklahoma City Thunder just had a game winner on the Nuggets the other night. First, thoughts on the Thunder? Obviously playing without J-Dub for a very long portion of this season. It feels like they've probably played without him more than they have played with him. And two, obviously thoughts on Thunder. 1, 2, has Shea wrapped up MVP? Is he still, the leaderboard MVP? Little MVP talk, because there's been discussion on the games limits and everything. Where are you right now with Shea and just the MVP in general?
I think, the odds makers would tell you Shea has kind of locked it up with that shot. The Thunder won that game, no Chet, no Hartenstein, too, against the Nuggets, which, Jay Will, the other Jalen Williams, is like he's a pretty good matchup. Like that's a good big. That's a good third big to have on your roster, and he was knocking down threes and stuff like that. But it's amazing what they do without these guys. They are incredible. Obviously, McCain's been awesome for them since they got him. But I think the odds makers would tell you that that Shea's kind of won it. But if I had a vote today, and I know the games would probably kind of be an issue, but I think the most valuable player in the league has been Victor Wembanyama this year, I think. Just how that team's just taken off with him. Wemby, it's like, I'm trying to think of a good analogy. I was thinking of one yesterday. Okay, Wemby is like, he's like Marlo Stanfield in season 4 of The Wire, Luke. Okay. Every time he faces a star, he's facing Tatum last night, and Tatum like thinks like this league is gonna be his, and every time he faces like the Rockets and like Amen Thompson or Shingun, like they think they're gonna like be the guys in this league, and Wemby's just like, you want it to be one way, but it's the other way, bro. That's what it is. There's so many good young players in this league, and Wemby's making all of them irrelevant right now. Mm-hmm. And the way this team has transformed in a year since he came back from the blood clots, the way watching that Celtics game last night, like teams get one-on-one with Wemby on a fast break, but if he's under the hoop, they're jogging back out at the 3-point line. That's worth so many points per game. And, last night he was hot from 3, and I can't find, Jokic would probably be up there too, but just a more valuable player in the league on both ends of the court. I think the games will be the only hindrance to his case, but Shea's been unbelievable. Shea, every time I put a limit on what Shea can do, I feel like he breaks through it, But for me, it would be Wemby right now, but Shea's been unbelievable.
Yeah, no, I'd have to say Shea as well. I think, again, it's one of those things. I think we talked preseason, MVPs go back-to-back, and then the voter fatigue sets in. I think right now Shea's in that honeymoon phase where voters are seeing what he's doing, what the Thunder are doing, taking into account they're playing without, a lot of people on their team as well. I think Wemby's been phenomenal. Jokic has been good when he's been healthy. I think he can only miss one more game, otherwise he's ineligible. Cade, a lot of people for a week, people were like, oh, Cade Cunningham's going to win the MVP. And then there's a few stinkers in both for Cade's performances and the Pistons' performances. I think that's put him back down the ladder a little bit. But if I had to, safe bet, I'd say the Thunder with SGA would probably be the MVP favorite right now. And I don't see anything, coming unless there's an injury or just he, wants to score under 20, which he hasn't done in like 100-something games, 150-something games. Like, I don't see anything like that coming soon from Shea. So I'd say if he continues this pace, he is the MVP. You talked about Wemby and the Spurs. Have you propelled the Spurs over the Nuggets right now in the Western Conference? Yeah.
I have. The Nuggets have been really disappointing in the past month or two of the season. The Cam Johnson trade I was so excited about in the summer, pretty disastrous right now because he's just not playing well at all. They've had some injuries and stuff. They still haven't had their core group together, and they've gotten some really good performances out of Tim Hardaway Jr.'s had a really good year coming off the bench. Valanciunas has been good off the bench. The things that I liked about the Nuggets going into the season, I think have proven true in terms of their depth being improved, and they've been a little better without Jokic than they were when he was injured for a while. But yeah, Cam Johnston let down, and their defense in general has just been pretty awful. So, and every week I'm turning the Spurs on, and it's just this hyper motivated group of really good young players, and with their demigod at the middle of it.
Yeah, no, I'm in agreement with you. I think at this point, like you said, I got the Spurs over the Nuggets right now. It just you put it perfectly. It just feels like the Nuggets, everything they've done, it's like. They maybe take a step forward and then a couple steps backwards. It just been so inconsistent throughout the year. And now that I look at the Western Conference, the Lakers blew out the Timberwolves last night. Thunder, Nuggets, Spurs right now are the upper echelon, but I feel like the Spurs are now ahead of the Nuggets, and the Nuggets have fallen a little bit. It's really the Thunder and the Spurs, and Wemby wants that Thunder matchup so bad against Chet.
That's a good matchup too. Yeah.
They've had success this year, probably the most success about any team in the last couple of years against the Thunder. I feel right now we could be destined to a Thunder versus Spurs Western Conference Finals. And we were talking just probably a podcast or two ago that the Spurs team, they might be this is the young year where they get bounced in the second round or against the Nuggets, but 2 weeks flip, week and a half flip. It feels like right now the Spurs have the advantage over the Nuggets. So
yeah, it's tough for me to see that, and part of it also I've been really encouraged by Fox's performances lately because I think they kind of want to have a steady hand veteran who can make shots late in games, and that's kind of what Fox has been doing lately. I love whenever Harper he gets up and comes up off the bench in the first quarter, and he's just an immediate injection of energy into this team. The shooter, Kellen Johnson's been good. Chimpan's been good. This is a good roster, I think, being being elevated because I think Wemby makes his teammates a lot better. And yeah, I think sky's the limit. I think they can go to the conference finals, and I think they can probably beat the Thunder too. I don't know if I'd pick them today, but uh, there are no limits on what this team can do this year, I think.
I will say, man, if the Spurs come out in the West, I need the Knicks to win the East so bad because the Knicks have had the Spurs number this year.
Yeah.
The Knicks, they just match up well against the Spurs.
They do.
But, a lot of basketball before that gets into play. Let's talk as we wrap up soon here, a couple topics. Tyrese Maxey and the Sixers. Thoughts on, Maxey's injury, I believe, he's going to be reevaluated in 3 weeks.
3 weeks, yeah.
And they fall into the 8 seed, I believe.
Yeah.
Just thoughts on, again, you came into the season. I know you put out a tweet yesterday. It was a fun season. You want to see the guards. You had some success, some fun success. Like, just thoughts on the Sixers and Maxey right now.
Yeah, the season's over. I think I don't think there's like any teams playing worse than us in the top 10 of the Eastern Conference right now. They're just like careening down the standings. Look, it started with the McCain trade. That's like killed our vibes completely. I don't want to blame everything on that, but it's kind of exposed that, hey, Nick Nurse couldn't get a lot out of McCain. Maybe he's not a great coach. It's exposed Morey for being, kind of negligent with his young, talented players. So now they're both firmly in the jackpot, on the hot seat, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, Embiid's just been, injured for the past couple weeks, and that's kind of part and parcel. But you knew Maxey was going to get hurt eventually because he was getting 40 minutes a game. They're really tough to watch. Last night was the campaign game. I had Campaign's quote here somewhere. Hold on. Campaign was, I think, 8 for 8 from 3, 9 for 10 from the field, scored 32 points. After the game, he said, "Bam can't take my night. Shout out to Bam. I'm a big Kobe fan. That's huge for anyone to score that many points in a game. But I'm taking it. This is my night, March 10th. This is all me." When we signed Campaign, I was like, it was a very depressing signing. When the Sixers picked him up a couple weeks ago, right after they let McCain go, and it's like, oh, great, all right, we've got Campaign back on the roster. But when Campaign gets hot, he is the man. He can be really fun. But yeah, I think the season's pretty much over. I don't know when we're gonna get Embiid back, but maybe we could get. Even if we did get him back, it feels like without Maxey out there in the next couple weeks, it wouldn't go well anyway. And yeah, Quentin Grimes, who they want to sign in the offseason because they let McCain go, he hasn't been any good, and it's a sad day. But at least. Kelly Oubre has been pretty chill, so shout out to Kelly, I guess.
Oubre had a nice game last night, right? He had 31?
Yeah, he was good. He was really good last night.
I dropped him on fantasy basketball and picked up DiVincenzo last night.
Damn.
Wrong decision. Quickly on Embiid, do you see the interaction between him and Harden the other night?
Yeah.
This is someone from the outside. I didn't know that. Embiid, I think the lip reading was, I know you're mad at me.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna say what's up. Did Harden blame Embiid for him being out of there? I don't know. Is there something that outside of Sixers fans, I don't know. Did that reaction or interaction kind of surprise you, or was that kind of well known for you that Harden and Embiid had beef, or Harden blamed Embiid for something?
I don't recall anything like that taking place. It seemed like Harden's beef was pretty one-sided with Daryl Morey. But I think Embiid, he's been ditched by a lot of guys in his career. Simmons being one of them. And I think he, as the franchise player, takes that personally and takes that as an insult, which I do not begrudge him that at all, especially when it comes to Simmons and Harden, who just underperformed in the biggest spots and kind of hung him out to dry. So I could see why they'd be mad at each other. Although guys seem to get on pretty well with James Harden, and Maxey got on well with him. Mm-hmm. But no, I couldn't really think of anything like that. I just think maybe it's because Harden ditched the team and gave up.
Okay, I was just wondering, because I was I didn't remember any reports, with Harden specifically blaming Embiid or Embiid doing something to stab him in the back. So I was interested about that. What else? You got anything, Vincent?
Do you want to talk about the Knicks disaster of a West Coaster? I know you did some videos on it.
Yeah,
But
we can talk about the Knicks for a little bit, for a second. And if you're a Knicks fan, I'm trying to do more game recaps, talk about the Knicks. So their last 2 games in LA, you can go see my reaction. They in the state of California, they went 0-4 this year against the not the Wizards, the Warriors, Kings, Lakers, Clippers. 0-4 in the state of California this year. They lose to the Lakers after demolishing Denver 2 nights prior. The game against the Lakers, I said, okay, bad shooting night. It is what it is. Happens. It was an early tip, daylight savings. You lost an hour of sleep. I'm coming up with any excuse. It's just at the end of the day, shots didn't fall. The game was against the Clippers. 20 turnovers. You blitz Kawhi Leonard when he's just absolutely getting the ball to Brook Lopez, who's draining threes. Lopez, if he's covered, he's giving it to Derrick Jones Jr., who's draining threes. They're wide open threes, and it just felt like a Knicks team that was running in quicksand. Mikal Bridges has been a no-show, 0 points against the Lakers, 7 points against the Clippers. Had to bench him again down the stretch. I don't want to overreact. I think this was just a bad stretch. Knicks can't shoot in LA. Hopefully, they're not going to play in any games in LA anymore the rest of the year, or California for that matter. But now this is where you got to win games for the Knicks. The Cavaliers are half a game back from you. Granted, you do have the tiebreaker, but if they're half a game ahead of you, they get that 3rd seed. For the Knicks, they have the 3rd easiest schedule for the rest of the year. They got 16 games, I believe, left, and 11 of them or 12 of them are against teams that are under 500. Like, they got 7 straight against teams that are under 500 or 500, with the Warriors being the best record out of all the games, teams with the best record. Mm-hmm. So you got to go on a streak right here. Tonight starts in Utah, then goes to Indiana for the Pacers, who always seem to, their players are healthy against the Knicks. It frustrates me because this team can look so great. Like, if we recorded this, they played the Lakers on Sunday. If we recorded on Saturday, I would have got even Sunday night or Monday morning. If we recorded, I'd have been. Knicks are going to the finals. There's no doubt about it. And of course, I'm still confident in the Knicks. It's just like sometimes they look so phenomenal, and other times they don't. And again, it scares me when they don't hit threes. And they've had some of these games throughout the year, where if they don't hit threes, it feels like they're one-dimensional. Brunson's been in a little bit of a shooting slump. Josh Hart has been playing, a little awkward. Like, I don't know. The starting lineup, and this will be my last point, the starting lineup is the worst lineup the Knicks have on their roster. Like, statistically, they get nothing out of their starting lineup. And then it happens every game. They go down 6, 8, 10 points. Mike Brown calls the first time out of the game. He puts in some subs, and the Knicks go on a run, and they close the first quarter strong. It happens every single game. It happened last year with Tom Thibodeau. The starting lineup just does not work. I don't know if you have to move Josh Hart to the bench, Mikal Bridges to the bench. It doesn't work for some reason, and Thibodeau and Mike Brown continue to use it. I don't know what you do if you make a change, if you don't. Again, I don't want to overreact because I do think this team is fine. They've proven against some of the elite teams. They went on a stretch of, their defense is one of the best defenses now in the league. And against the Eastern Conference, I have confidence against them, against the Cavs, the Cavs, the Pistons, and the Celtics. It's just annoying that this team cannot string together consistent wins against teams they should beat. It is what it is. Got to beat these under 500 teams. So that's a short version of my thoughts on the Knicks. They are, soon come. We're gonna figure out. You're gonna lock in. You got to get the 3 seed. I don't know if maybe the Celtics can make a run for the 1 seed. The Celtics also have a game coming against the Thunder, so hopefully you can win some ground back. They're losing to the Spurs and Thunder. If they do back-to-back games, hopefully you can make some ground up. But it's just annoying sometimes these performances.
Yeah, if the season ended today, you guys would have the Heat in the first round, which nobody ever wants.
But that doesn't bother me too much. I mean, no offense to Bam or the Heat. I think whoever draws the Hornets, though, that'll be...
Yes. So the Hornets are 10th right now in a play-in of Orlando, Philadelphia, and Atlanta. Atlanta's actually playing really well right now, too.
Wins.
But, yes. So, I don't know. I think the Hornets could move up in that play-in and end up as an 8 or 7 seed, definitely. But I don't know if they're getting above the play-in line. But, yeah, they've been awesome. I would take, all those teams over the Sixers right now. It's so terrible. And Orlando's been like so disappointing this season. The Sixers have just teleported below them. But hey, when Paul George comes back, and when Maxey comes back, and when Embiid comes back all at once, then we'll put a real run together from the 8th seed.
I thought it was funny,
and it'll be great.
I thought it was funny. Shams, he was like the Spurs. I keep saying the Spurs. So the Sixers are now without Embiid injury, Maxey injury, George suspension. In his tweet, I was like, I forgot Paul George was suspended. Geez, yeah. No, the East will be fun. We've said it throughout the year. The East will be fun. The play-in will be fun. The Hornets are on fire. Atlanta's on fire. Magic are on free fall. Paulo and their head coach beefing publicly. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
Just like disappointing for the Magic, who we both had high expectations for.
Damn, I picked Jamal Mosley for Coach of the Year, I think.
I picked Quinn Snyder for the Hawks as Coach of the Year.
Atlanta, yeah. Oh my God.
I mean, this could be our final
season.
Yeah, this could be our final topic. What's your thoughts on Magic City?
Oh my God, that's a great point. First of all, I would take Quinn Snyder over Nick Nurse right now, so I'm not even trying to talk trash on him. But I kind of didn't mind it what like Luke Cornett said. Mm-hmm. I was like, I see where he's coming from. Like, it's a strip club. One could see it as degrading to women. However, with my skin tone, Luke, I would never try to tell the city of Atlanta what to do.
No.
I would never do that. And it's an important cultural institution. It seems like everybody in there is having a good time, right? So
Lou Will is leaving the bubble to go to Magic City.
Right. I was
the wings or the women.
That's the thing. Like, I was listening to Bomani Jones talk about this last week at Elite at Sports Talk. Bomani Jones, and he was saying, like, if you're doing a Magic City night, are you really doing a Magic City night if it's just like wings? You know what I mean? Like, there's a reason they're leaving out the other thing, and it's because it's kind of inappropriate to have the other thing at a basketball game, and so that kind of proves Cornette's point, I think. But look, I see why people are up in arms about it. And dude, the Hawks were taking no prisoners when it came to it. They issued a statement. They were like, the NBA made us do it. Like, we didn't want to do this. We're gonna keep upholding Atlanta culture at the State Farm Arena.
I am so angry I didn't pre-order one of those hoodies. Those hoodies are going to resell because like people like I saw someone.
Oh my God!
Because they took them off the website when it was canceled, and then people are like, "What's going to happen?" And they put out a statement: "We're going to send you. We're going to fulfill the orders." Those hoodies are going to resell for ridiculous amounts. Like I wish I just had them because Magic City, that would have been pretty cool. But yeah, like I thought
that's true.
I couldn't believe this blew up as big as it did because like I think Cornette can have his opinion about it.
Totally.
I was like, if there's no strippers at the game, like it is what like if they're just having wings, like cool, a DJ doing live, mixes and stuff, like it is what it is. It wasn't like it was a national televised game; it was a regional game, so no one's just like throwing on the Atlanta game and being like, oh, Magic City, like And I feel like at the end of the day, I know Luke Cornett or like other people have pointed, kids are going to be asked what's Magic City. Well, with all due respect, if you're in Atlanta, you live in Atlanta, like at some point the kids are going to understand what Magic City is. Like it's a cultural point, but it is what it is. Like I was surprised it blew up as much as it did, and then the NBA does end up canceling it. But yeah, no, I think the wings are still available. They said the wings are still going to be available throughout the arena. The hoodies, man. I saw someone's like the hoodies are on par with now the 2020 Final Four, which was going to be in Atlanta. That merch. He's like that. I mean, that's the Atlanta. It's on the Mount Rushmore. Just canceled merchandise now. But yeah, no Magic City. That's no Magic City night.
Yeah, that was. It was a cool couple days on NBA Twitter. Just seeing people argue about that. In general, I don't really support when people do like pearl clutching about like think of the children kind of stuff. I think that's usually pretty disingenuous. Kind of using kids as human shields, but in this case, I guess I kind of understood it. But I don't know, man. The Hawks have been really disappointing this year. Let their fans have a good time.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I guarantee you Magic City night would have been one of the most attended games of the season.
But absolutely, but also if Hawks fans want to have a good night, maybe just go to Magic City instead of bringing Magic City to the State Farm Arena. Maybe that's the solution.
After party needs to be at Magic City.
I'm sure it often is. I'm sure
That's the pre-game party and after
Yeah.
party Magic City
Yeah.
right there. All right, wrapping up here on Court
The
Vision.
pregame at Magic City.
That'd be legendary. You pregame at Magic City, go to the Hawks game, then you postgame at Magic City.
Yes.
On Magic City night. Man, that's Atlanta. I'm not. If you're from Atlanta, I'm saying.
Why didn't Anthony Edwards weigh in on this? Did he weigh in on this?
Yeah,
He's like Mr. Atlanta.
You know, Anthony Edwards. He doesn't have social.
That's right.
media.
He don't got
You
internet.
know, he don't got internet, so he didn't see anything. Anything else, Vincent? Before we wrap up,
There were a bunch of Michael Porter Jr. was on a podcast this week. There was a bunch of stuff. He talked about how he's like a toxic ex to Denver because they like root against him. He also had thoughts on tanking. He said they got to do something about tanking. I don't like how teams are deliberately trying to tank to get a good draft pick. Michael Porter Jr. plays for the Brooklyn Nets, so I feel like there was a little bit of irony in that, or maybe he hasn't gotten the direct orders that he needs. I mean, look, if there's one guy who on the Nets who plays like he's on a contender, it's Michael Porter Jr. So maybe he doesn't know what they're trying to do. But I found that a little ironic for a nice Porter Jr. quote of the week. There was also a good Draymond quote this week. Did you see this? Sometimes my parents come up to me and they'll be like, "Yo, my son plays just like you," and I think to myself, "Your son is ass." Awesome.
At least Draymond knows. Like, I mean, like
Good self-awareness, yeah.
I cannot imagine someone's parents being proud of their kid for playing like Draymond Green. Like, I hope that their kid just rebounds and sets hard screens. Like, that's what they mean.
Yeah.
Like, anything other than that, like, I don't know. Your kid might have to stop playing basketball in high school.
Yeah. Yeah, I laughed at it, but then I was like, I've definitely said my pickup comp is Draymond Green before.
No, you're better than Draymond Green.
Nah, bro, I don't put the ball on the ground that much. I do most of my playmaking just like out of the post, trying to find a pass. Like I feel like Draymond's good, and I think I fit it when I'm surrounded by shooters. When I'm playing pickup with you, Luke, that's gonna get the best out of me. But if I don't want to have to be the first option on offense, or the second, really.
No, I'm sticking up for you. You're not
Okay.
Draymond.
I appreciate
I'm
that.
not putting that on you.
Did you see?
Yeah, shooters like me, Eshawn or me. There
Yeah,
you
the
go.
goat,
Yeah.
Bron. Did you see Cal State Bakersfield? Did you see what happened with them? Just real quick, their coach was moonlighting as a pimp.
Yeah, okay, that's
Yeah.
what it was. I didn't remember the college. Across like four
Four
states. Yeah.
states. I don't know. I have nothing to say about it. Like, college sports are insane. There's like always just random stories like that. You get the ESPN notification, and you just like read it twice. You're like, what does that say? Anytime you're getting a notification about like a random college, you know, like some insane scandal happened. It's amazing. Just like you always expect things like that to happen in like the major cities in the United States and stuff, but Bakersfield, California is where this pimp operation's going down. It's, you know,
Headquarters of pimping.
I've spent some time in Bakersfield. It's okay. It's where Josh Allen's from, I think. Yeah.
Shout out Josh Allen. Yeah, maybe not.
And shout out to Bam. Let's make sure we end on that.
Shout out. I saw someone on Twitter said he's going Bomba mode. I was like, all right, I might see where the Kobe stands.
Have you ever
Bomba
seen?
mode.
That's really funny. Have you ever seen a guy bring his wife or girlfriend to the post-game presser for a regular season game? Granted, it's age. I love them as a couple. Like, they're awesome. Bam and Age are awesome. Whoever their kid is gonna be the next great thing in the NBA, but or WNBA. But that was so funny seeing him and Asia Wilson next to each other in the post-game presser, and he's answering questions. She's just like nodding and smiling, supporting her, man. It was really sweet, but it's also like I've never seen that before.
Never. Yeah, like, I mean, I've seen like after the finals you bring your family up, but never after a regular season game in March after game 63 or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, Steph Curry used to bring out Riley Curry after knocking out the Oklahoma City Thunder. Like,
I do remember that. Yeah.
Simpler times, man. Simpler times.
Yeah, PJ Rose. He would come out for Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose would
Yeah,
bring him out.
yeah. Good. Oh, Chris Paul used to bring his son out too. That was
Yeah.
Yeah.
There it is. All
Why
right,
do players do that anymore?
Yeah, no, well, you know, I'm not. I'll tell you off. I don't
Okay.
know if I can.
All right.
Before we end here, make sure you comment below. Let us know what you thought about Bams. Appreciate everyone listening. Go subscribe to Vincent Zakian's channel, Vincent Zakian in the description. Go check that out. Follow us on socials, Twitter, whatever, X, whatever it's called. For Luke Backman, Vincent Zakian, appreciate you tuning in. That's it for Court Vision. Peace. We're out.